p.m. and I just had a spiritual dream. In the dream, in the dream, all hell was breaking loose. It was Jacob's trouble, and I was sitting at an intersection, about to make a left. The sky was cloudy, overcast. It looked like it was dusk. And I was going to make a left to go to, hop on this, a bigger, I guess you could say, highway or whatnot. It looked like it had like at least 3 lanes on each side. One going downgraded the hill and coming up. But it wasn't that much traffic, but it was people crashing and just going out of control. But I was sitting in my car and I was like, man, I wanna see a sign or something from the Lord. For some reason I was like kinda like not really down and out, but I just wanted to see something from the Lord. Like, as everything looked like it was breaking out, it was people, somewhat running around. It was accidents happening. It wasn't real frantic, like just chaotic or real dense, but it was still happening. Kind of seemed like I was like in a rural area or something, but a built up area, kind of like. But it was cloudy, and I could see a light, dimly lit in the clouds. But I noticed it. It was like a white light in, the gray overcast of clouds, like it just rained or something like that. But I could see it brightly lit, but it was dimly lit, sitting in the clouds, and something dropped out of the something. It was circular in nature, and I could tell it was a chariot. And another chariot came right under it. So I'm facing this. I'm at the intersection. You can only make a left or a right. I'm preparing to make a left. And as I'm looking up at this, and I say to myself in my mind, I want to see a sign from the Lord or something. And then that light that I couldn't see, I could tell it was a chariot, a big chariot, but it dropped down. A chariot, and the thing dropped down low enough under the cloud overcast cover, but you could still see where it dropped down from the light. And then the chariot took off very fast right over top of me. We're going into the opposite direction that I was making a turn, and I was so happy. I was like, oh man, did you see that? I was like, just saying out loud to myself. Nobody was in the car with me or anything, but I was so happy. And stuff is still breaking off around me. People were crashing and whatnot like that. But I made the left to the light turned green right after the chariot dropped down out of that bigger chariot that I could see that was illuminating the overcast of the clouds, but you couldn't see it. It dropped down, and then the chariot took off real fast, like I was close enough to the chariot, I guess the mothership or fathership. I was close enough to it so I could see the light of it, but I could see the other chariot drop down and then zoom past, like just start, of course, big accelerating, but not a blink of an eye acceleration, but enough, and other people saw it, and there was another. As I'm making a left turn, I guess they saw it or something. It was these 2 cars that had an accident that crashed. But I'm sitting at the light. The light turns green after the chariot flies directly in the opposite direction that I'm turning. I'm making a left. And it flies towards me and goes straight. I was so happy. I was like, oh, praises to the Lord. Oh, man, did you see that? Man, that was crazy. It was the closest I've seen a chariot in any video, or it kind of remind me of ID4 Independence Day, when UFO, the big chariot releases the small ones down to Earth. I think that's the second one, the second movie that they do that. Or maybe the first. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. But it kind of reminded me like this, but on a little bit smaller version. And it was in the atmosphere. It looked like it had to be from where I was sitting in a car and looking up in a cloud. Probably maybe like 1,000 feet, maybe 900 feet or so. But the overcast of the clouds was that heavy. But I could see lights in there, and it looked like I could see other lights. And if I look to the left or right a little bit, I could see other lights hovering in the clouds in the distance. So it looked like, I guess the Most High is going to have other chariots drop out of other chariots. Smaller ones drop out of bigger ones. The closest way of me explaining it is from Independence Day, I think the first or second movie, when the mothership drops the smaller ships out of its frame and into Earth. That's what that reminded me of. That's the closest thing I could explain it. The chariot was basically all light, but I could see a metallic frame in the middle and light around it. It was hauling ass too. It dropped down just like it reminded me for some reason of that movie Stargate, when they do the teleportation up to the mothership or the triangle ship or whatnot. It kind of reminded me of that, but the way the ring, how the UFO dropped down, the chariot dropped down, and then it zoomed off like in a parallel straight line. And that was just so crazy. It definitely was a spiritual dream. I remember it. It was cloudy. I was making a left in the car, and I don't know where I was going. I couldn't really, tell. I knew it was all hell breaking loose because it was people just running around and stuff, and it didn't look like I was in a big city. It looked like I was in like maybe a suburbs of a city, almost rural area, but it was people out there, but not a lot, but enough so that on this highway I would have to dodge and maneuver around certain cars, but still not really have to worry about anything. I noticed that when I was going down the hill, and I could just see cars in accidents. People you could tell that they lost it. They didn't know what the hell was going on, and they were just crashing out, literally. But I was fine in the dream. I was totally fine. What else? Yeah, and right where I said I needed, I wish I had a sign from Yahweh, the Lord, send me a sign. Yeah, the chariot dropped right down directly where I was at the light. The light turned green and dropped down and zoomed off in that short amount of time, and then I made my left. That was crazy. It looked beautiful too, the chariot. It was still circular, still round. It had lights on it like you always do, but the lights weren't like brightly intense. You can tell that it was a metallic ship. You could tell that it was manufactured, ship. It kind of reminded me of aluminum a little bit, or polished steel. The way that it shined with the light and against the clouds, because just like I said, this was in the daytime. Kind of dusk, but it was enough light out. How it can be a straight overcast of clouds, and it's light out because the sun, you just can't see the sun. But the lights were very bright though, but not bright enough that I couldn't see the ship when it dropped down. I could actually see it drop down with its lights on and moving, and it took off so fast. It was so crazy. That was like the best part. And yeah, That was crazy. It was a crazy dream. I just woke up. It's 10:31 right now, p.m. Is it? So, October 1st. And this is the day of the strike. So, with that, and I haven't had a spiritual dream like that in a long time. I know I did a video today, early this morning today, about the strike. And I'm happy I got this spiritual vision or dream. With that, I like to say all praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'Hashem, Ba'Hashem Kakradash, Shalom.